again to these people for the concept, for the plan, for the process, and for teaching me as I was teaching you. Thank you.
And I know that I wouldn't be where I am today at Fannie Mae. I think it's number 12 on Indeed's 50 best places to work list, and I can see why. I am doing extremely well, and I have to just give all the credit to God and my mother, the GIT Coach, for planting the idea in my head that before you make these huge, expensive decisions that are going to affect the rest of your life, that you have to ask God first. Because He'll tell you, and you'll avoid 15 years of finding yourself and unemployment and just difficult things if you just surrender when it's time to make those big decisions. So I just want to thank the GIT Coach for that.
Thank you, Laura.
A business analyst with Solve, an IT firm. Shirley, please come up and tell us about your experience.
I wanted to speak a little bit more on really my principle, and which is really my testimony, which is knowing your worth. I think that overall, what that broke down to for me from the GIT Coach was about making decisions and knowing how to make decisions. I know that I wouldn't have gotten where I am if it wasn't for her. If it wasn't for her being there every step of the way, coaching me on how to make decisions in a way that reflected my self-worth and the self-worth that I wanted to have tomorrow. So I really benefited from working with her because, again, everything was so practical. Everything is so practical with her. It's all about really what it comes down to at the end of the day. How are you living your everyday life? How are you making those decisions? How do they impact you?
Luis Contreras, who has a master's in counseling from George Mason University. Welcome, Luis.
I've been working with the coach for almost 10 years now, really. It started off as a professional relationship. I started working at the same small consulting company. And then from there, it's just really cool to see how the relationship and all of the principles that she has instilled in my life have basically just been put on paper and turned into a book. You know, I have had to receive the wisdom from those principles and from the coach and all that stuff. Thank you all for having me here today.
Danica majored in therapeutic recreation, a bachelor's degree from Old Dominion University. Please welcome Danica.
She has really had an amazing impact on my life. And every time she speaks, every time she says her testimonies, or I hear other people, I'm like, oh, she helped me with that too. I didn't even realize. And there are just so many things, and it's always helped me with my professionalism. I have to give a lot of speeches, and just running them by her has been one of the most helpful things. Her advice is one thing, but it's also amazing watching the way she lives her life. Her advice is through her life, and she lives the advice that she gives, and that's one of the most amazing things as well. So thank you.
So you have your master's in counseling, and you work as a counselor, and you also work in different facilities. You mentioned juvenile detention, as well as psychiatric facilities. So I feel like maybe your purpose is already being a counselor, but can you speak more to how you discovered your purpose for your life and what it means to you?
I actually majored in business as an undergrad, hence why I was heading in the direction. That's what I see counseling as, is I see counseling as really going into the darkness and trying to guide people out and help them to make sense of things, to remember that life is worth living, that they have potential, that they are worthy of love, that they still have the power to make choices.
One of the things that I really love about the GIT Coach, which I've called Auntie now for a number of years, is the fact that she is very good at speaking to you in a way that you understand. And I think that's one of her gifts that makes her so special, because she doesn't need 5 years with you to be able to speak to you in a way that you understand. I think that's one of the gifts that God's placed into her. And that's really something that I never really put into words until recently, until we were doing this project. And I realized one of the things that I was, when we were talking about all of this, was, well, I know that it works. I know that it's working right now because I'm living it. I've been living it for the past couple of years. But how are we going to tell other people that this is not just us talking at people and just spewing out some principles back and forth? And I think before I could even answer that question, the answer came to me. And the answer came to me in the form of, she talks to you in a way that you understand. I don't know if you paid attention to Danica when she was talking earlier, when she was talking about the fact that she didn't feel adequate enough. The answer that she got was, so what? One of the things that I really admire, again, is because I know that if I'd asked her the same questions, how she would have answered me would be different. Is because she's picked up that I am an intuitive person. She would have answered me by questions. That's how I learn. How Danica learns is by someone being like, so what? And I think that, again, I think that's one of the amazing things that the GIT Coach has, because she can pick up on that. You don't, and I think that's not something you can teach.
You spoke about a change in your major after your freshman year, and sitting down with the GIT Coach, aka Mom, and going through different options. So can you tell us a little bit more about that process and something that perhaps the GIT Coach really instilled in you to thinking through your options and how you could really blend your passion with marketability?
As I was talking about earlier, we sat down and we were looking through that course catalog and just trying to figure out if we could get any leads. And as I also mentioned before, without a master's degree or some sort of certifications, it's very difficult to have an arts major, and that isn't graphic design. That's one thing that will always lead, is graphic design. But I'm not a designer, I'm a writer, and I was born to be a writer, and I went to a college prep school that told me that unless you're writing a research paper, with like MLA format, and you're writing a dissertation, there's no room for that anywhere else. So the idea that I went into a major like nursing that would guarantee me a job, and even if I decided to go on to higher education, I could become a nurse practitioner and make more money and move and live anywhere I wanted, and know that I could provide for my family and for myself and live the life that I felt that I wanted to live financially. So when my mom suggested creative advertising, I was like, what even is that? Can you even make money off of it? Am I gonna just be newspapers at the time? We were still transitioning from paper to Kindles and things like that. So I was like, newspapers are going out of business. It's 2010, and why am I doing this? But once she encouraged me to really fast and pray after speaking to the pastor, because that things don't ever really make sense on paper. And you have to walk by faith and not by sight. And so when you're making these very large decisions, these decisions that will decide, am I going to jump into something and risk wasting a lot of money on a career that I don't really want, or that I may not even really have, or do you lay it down at the altar and have God tell you what to do and just pray every step of the way?
Programs, there's a sheet, and we're asking you to, if you have 3 people that you can refer to us, put their name and email address or telephone number on the sheet, your stuff at the top, your own information at the top, and then give us 3 referrals, and turn that in to me. because I'm gonna pick a name. I'll pick one of the sheets out, and if you've given me 3 referrals, you will receive a complimentary package. You can use it yourself, or you can gift it. You can gift it. So I know that some of you out here may think, I'm of a certain age, I don't need a coach right now. Or maybe you're of a certain age and you want to talk to Dr. Himes. But you may say, my niece, my cousin, my granddaughter, my grandson, my daughter's son needs that. So please fill it out for us, 3 referrals, turn it into me please, and we will draw the name and I will contact you and let you know that you've run a free package. So the GIT Coach process that I've designed is to help them, knowing that they don't want to mess around. You have to let them see that, yes, I understand you. I understand that you want to move. I understand why you are so anxious to move forward. You're so anxious that you have anxiety. A lot of our young people are being diagnosed with anxiety. And this ADHD thing and all this stuff is because they are in a hurry. They're in a hurry to make a difference. I'm so very proud of my sister right now. I can just pop wide open. I'm just so proud of her. This is an awesome, awesome thing that you've done, that God has put in you, and we are all proud of you, and we're so happy to be here.